The tilt is real.
The tilt is real.
This is when the tilt is real.
Welcome to another episode of The Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Coming to you live from the chef's table, here are your hosts, James Crease and Juan Pena.
Let's go.
Welcome into the Tilt is Real Fantasy Football Podcast. It is Wednesday, September 22nd, deuce. And we're here, and there is a lot going on. This is episode 69. Shout out to Gronkowski.
Shout out to Gronk.
Oh, man, he's killing it, dude. Tight end one right now.
Unbelievable. If
If you haven't figured it out yet, join with me here at the chef's table, Mr. Juan Carlos Pena. What is going on, bud? How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Chef. Any day we get to talk about fantasy football is a great day. And shout out to Mr. Swanson, who's not here with us today. When you started that and you said it is Wednesday, I was waiting for the my dudes. I thought it was coming right behind that.
Yeah, well, I figured I'd save it a little bit.
Yeah, Mr. Swanson. Yeah, man, lots going on, Chef. Busy time of the year. As you can tell, we did a show yesterday. We're doing a show today. Tomorrow there's football. It's a fantastic time to be alive, man. This our year. This our time of year.
Whew, it is the best time of year. It's like Christmas for 18 weeks.
Yes.
Oh,
I love it.
All right. And for all of you that are in the chat, shout out to Antonio, Justin. Thanks for joining in with us. Tilt Squad is up and running. Justin has flooded the chat with a bunch of new questions.
I love it. He's always tilting.
Lucius in here. Zach's in here. What's up, guys?
Welcome, fam.
Oh, and we hit the 100. Did we go back up to 100? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to check that out because we lost 2 subscribers. I don't know how you lose subscribers. Like, what trickery is that?
I don't know what happened.
Talk about your false hopes, dude.
It's all right. We'll get them back. 100's going to be in the rear view soon.
I'm not worried about it. Either way, we appreciate all our fans and all our viewers, our subscribers. Most importantly, we appreciate you guys. You guys drive the show each and every week, and we have a jam-packed show with this week. As usual, we'll do a little maintenance on the waiver wire heroes. We'll do a quick review on that. Week 3 plays of the week. We each have a couple of sleeper picks as well. We're going to run through the Thursday night game, Thursday night preview, Panthers at Texans, man. Oof, yeah. It's going to be a juicy one for one of those teams at least. And of course, we're going to hit it all off with the weekly reel. And there is a lot of news to get to, Juan, and the chat is filling up and they have plenty of questions. We'll leave some time during the show to answer those tilts.
For sure.
Get those tilts in there, finish these questions up, answer them, make sure you guys win your league for week 3 going ahead. But as we usually do, let's get into the weekly reel and break down some of this news, man, because there is a boatload.
Keep it real.
It's the weekly reel, presented by The Tilt is Real. It's the weekly reel. Let me hear that news.
I like this. So for the first segment of the weekly reel, we're gonna go right in here with the chef's tweak of the week. I kind of like where he went there with that one, but it feels like tweaks of the week.
It's so many tweaks, man.
It's tweaks of the week because Carson Wentz tweaked both ankles. Like surprisingly, somehow, some way, managed to tweak both of those ankles. And I don't remember the move. I don't remember the play. Maybe it was on multiple plays. But that offensive line isn't what we thought it was going to be, and it's taking them a little bit of time to gel and for them to get right. And the loss of Anthony Costanzo is starting to be felt along that offensive line. And I don't trust the Colts right now for Jonathan Taylor and a bunch of different aspects, but certainly for Wentz and whether or not he's going to be healthy. So for right now, Carson Wentz, both ankle sprain, and here comes Jacob Eason.
One's a high ankle, one's a low ankle. And here comes Jacob Eason. And Jacob Eason did not look good. Completed 2 of 5 passes this week for 25 yards and an interception. How do you get an interception if throwing the ball 5 times?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's ask Zach Wilson. Let's ask Joe Burrow.
Oh.
Joe Burrow. Yeah, Zach Wilson at one point had the first four passes or something like that. 2 of them were picks, and then the same thing happened to Joe Burrow. He threw 3 straight interceptions. It's kind of wild.
I am not a big Jacob Eason fan at all. No. I did not like his film from college. I
hated the combine.
Couple of bad Yeah, hated the combine.
Right? Oh, what an awful couple days at the combine.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. I'm not looking forward to watching the game if he plays up against the Titans this week. It's going to be tough.
Hey, maybe they can run the ball. Maybe it is finally Jonathan Taylor time, and maybe he's going to run the ball. Maybe some check downs to Nyheim Hines. I mean, but if he's throwing it, 5 times, he might get picked off a couple times. So start the Titans defense. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, most likely.
Maybe that's a streamer if they're available.
Possibly. I'll have to look into that for Sunday, for the Sunday tilt. The fantasy football Sunday tilt starting at 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings. We roll for 2 hours straight, no breaks, and we're here to answer your tilts on Sunday. Dude, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have problems.
Yeah, that's why you named this episode the Quarterback Conundrum, Chef.
Dude,
what do we do?
Oh my goodness. I mean, you stay away from Jacob Eason, obviously.
Right.
And thank God, most leagues are not super flex or 2 QB leagues, man. And I am regretting being in so many super flex leagues right now because we got to roll into this one. Big Ben with the pectoral issue. Apparently,
it's the left.
It's the left.
It's the left.
So close to his heart.
Close to his heart, but far from his throwing arm.
Well, that's not going to make a difference.
Right. It's still going to hurt. It's still going to hurt, but it's going to help him. I mean, in the sense that he might be able to give it a go because it's just the left pec, not the right pec. So,
yeah, well, I mean, either way, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they didn't look too good, man. They let the Raiders come across country for a 1:00 game and just got destroyed.
That usually doesn't happen, Chef. And we talked about that with teams traveling from the West Coast to the East and playing in that early window. Usually they don't have a lot of success. But if we should have been paying attention to more is Joe Hayden and Bush. And shout out to the chat because someone said it. I believe it was Justin that said it in the chat, or Lucius. It might have been one of them that said that Joe Hayden and Devin Bush, neither one of them was going to play. And when you're missing your starting middle linebacker and your best cover corner, you're likely to get exploited. And we saw Henry Ruggs take the top off the defense, and we saw a lot of open spaces in the middle of the field for Waller, Hunter Renfrow, and everybody else to do work. So shout out to the Raiders for coming out and winning that game, though.
Yeah.
It's a big game to come
2-0.
Right, to come in. So maybe there's a shift in power. Maybe it's just the early season, everybody getting a feel and trying to figure themselves out, and the injuries taking apart.
I'm impressed so far. And they did that without Josh Jacobs.
They did indeed. A little bit of Peyton Barber, but not much. It was mostly Kenyon Drake, and Derek Carr put the team on his back.
Interesting.
I like that.
If Derek Carr is available, go pick him up.
Yeah. I was gonna put him in my sleeper thing, but if you're sleeping on him, you're not paying attention. He should have woken you up week 1 against the Ravens.
I try to stay away from Big Ben regardless. He likes to waddle around a little bit. And, speaking of waddle, we can waddle right into the Dolphins with Jalen Waddle over there. Nothing's wrong with him. Don't get alarmed. But his quarterback has some fractured ribs, and he has been listed as out. Jacoby Brissett will take the start, man. And I'm a little nervous about this one as well.
Did not look good. Didn't look good pushing the ball down the field. Made a couple bad reads, which you wouldn't expect from a veteran quarterback. Maybe the whole week taking the first team reps and getting the volume of the practice reps will help him be a little bit sustainable or be good. And the fact that he is playing against the Raiders and they are susceptible to the pass. So maybe there's a way where that they can have a little bit of success.
Yeah, I mean, it
doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good
for my Dolphins, and it does. I definitely am not telling anyone to go pick up Brissett.
Yeah,
but for the pass catchers, you get Will Fuller back, and you're gonna have Waddle out there, so maybe you can make some dynamic plays happen with the
I mean, Jacoby Brissett's not that bad, and there's similar skill sets, so I'm really not too interested. I'm not too scared for the receivers.
Okay,
I think Gaskin could actually be a really good play this week.
Oh, wait. Save that for another segment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Save that for another segment.
All right. I won't spoil the fun. Shout out, Corey. What's up, brother? Appreciate you, man.
My man, C-Dot.
Enjoying his day off, man. C-Dot, you should have came on the show with us, man. If you want to hop in, let me know.
Yes, sir.
I'm out here with C-Dot. We out here. Yeah. But what else? From the
Dolphins to a former Dolphin.
Oh,
yeah, we'll go to Jarvis Landry, who did his best work, and since he left Miami, hasn't been as good of a fantasy wide receiver as he was when he was there. But he's going to end up on the IR, Chef, and he's going to be missing at least 3 weeks, a minimum of 3 weeks. So here comes dun, 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 dun.
I mean, this opens up a lot more playing time for Donovan Peoples-Jones. We saw Demetric Felton flash a little bit. And my guy, my favorite Brown, and he is one of my sleepers again for the week, is Anthony Schwartz. I told you to pick him up last week, not to play him, just watch. And he's getting some targets, Juan. And it's all going to rely on whether or not OBJ plays.
Right.
Because if OBJ plays, OBJ is going to stick to the right side. And then I think Demetric Felton will be playing like a similar satellite back role in the slot. He did play wide receiver a little bit in college. So that might be something. We might see Kareem Hunt getting a lot more targets. We might see some tight ends getting some more targets as well. Austin Hooper had a bunch last week, so we should see what's going on there.
That's going to be an interesting game, Chef, because the strength of that Chicago defense is that front four, and it's that front seven, and it's Roquan Smith and Danny Trevathan running downhill and tackling. So they might be able to slow the run down, and you might get your guy Schwartz to have to produce. Like, you might have to see him, get on the field and do something.
He's a little unpolished. He dropped a couple passes. It seems like him and Baker haven't matched up their timing just quite yet, but I'm sure they are working on it in practice. He probably is practicing with the firsts.
Right.
So that's a good sign for that. And
it happens with those burners, Chef. Those guys that are super fast, the ultra athletic, ultra speed guys,
there's
have a little problem with drops.
There's always one guy every year as a rookie. I'm like, this guy's going to be it. This guy's going to be it. The one year it was Darius Slayton.
Oh, Marquise Goodwin. I mean, we were back in the day, you know what I mean? Like, we've gone with those speedsters. John Ross was on every one of my teams for 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I was pushing for Denzel Mims, and I'll tell you what, man, I almost dropped him today in Dynasty. If I would have gotten my guy, and we can go over it again when we get to the waiver wire heroes. But if I would have gotten my guy, Denzel Mims was dust.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not looking good. Man, you shoot, you miss sometimes.
Oh, 100%.
But I mean, that Cleveland game is going to be one heck of a matchup, because guess what, Juan? We get to see Justin Fields start. Not the way you want to see him take over the starting role. Andy Dalton, hopefully you get better, but he has a bruised knee. He's officially just ruled out. He is week to week. And Matt Nagy reiterated the fact that Dalton is still a starter when healthy. And I want to get your reaction on this, because we've been waiting for Justin Fields to take the helm.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him get snaps. We've seen him score touchdowns. And now he gets a full game against the Cleveland defense that has given up points to the quarterback. I mean, they're ranked 30th, giving up 29.9 fantasy points to the quarterback position. How do you think Fields is gonna field his way around on Sunday?
I don't have high expectations for him in this matchup. In this week, he's going to be great. He's going to be fantastic. But the reaction that you wanted for the Nagy situation, what Nagy's doing is, if he doesn't play well, I told you guys he's not ready, and it's Andy Dalton's team, and I'm backing Andy Dalton just in case.
You're covering your spread.
I'm covering it. I'm hedging my bet here. If he doesn't play well and he doesn't have a good showing, Andy Dalton's still the starter, guys. Don't worry about it. We got it. But if he does great, be like, Andy Dalton was the starter, but the kid played himself into the role. And he knows the fans will be behind him. The media will be behind him. Heck, the locker room will probably be behind him. And he's only got Andy Dalton to say, look, man, I can't. It's undeniable. Like, the talent's there. He's got the job. I'm sorry, Andy. But if Justin Fields fails, like I said, he's not ready yet. Bring back Andy Dalton.
Oof.
That's the reaction.
Shout out to Doug, the Fantasy Father. He is the co-host of the DHH podcast with me over there on Sundays. We record every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Doug says Fields to Mooney all day long on Sunday. I can believe it.
I can too, because if you're going to have Denzel Ward on Allen Robinson,
right,
then Mooney's going to get either Greedy Williams or Greg Newsome, somebody who's inexperienced, just coming back from injury, or a new rookie. So he's going to have an opportunity to take some shots down the field. So I like that matchup on that side.
Mooney was a little banged up the first 2 weeks, so he may be available on your waiver wire. We're going to get into that in a little bit. And just reiterate the fact that Mooney was available, and I believe under 50% of leagues. So that's he says he co-host. I am the host. Yes, you are, Doug. You are one heck of a host, man. I appreciate you. And Tyler's okay too. Shout out that guy. Shout out those guys.
Shout out Tyler.
What else do we have in the news here? Let's see.
2020 list.
We got Jermichael Hasty suffered a high ankle sprain in week 2 and is considered week to week. He's out. He's not playing. I don't think he's going to play. Not with a high ankle sprain.
So Kerryon Johnson.
I believe Elijah Mitchell will get the
bulk
of the work. Thing,
and Sherman clears concussion protocol.
We'll see. We'll see. And it's iffy. And then it's Kerryon Johnson behind him. And I believe they were looking at Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
Wow. It's going to be crazy.
It's week 3. We're already talking about Duke Johnson. It's great.
Yeah, we can get into the 2020 list if you want. Zach Ertz vaccinated and has a chance to play with 2 positive tests. He's got a test, but if not, fire up Goddard. Could be in line for a great game against the Atlanta Falcons, who have given up 44.4 fantasy points to the tight end position in the first 2 weeks of the season. Man, I would love Goddard on my team if that's the case, if Zach Ertz is out.
Yeah.
And then Doug helped us out here with this one, man.
Chef, sorry, but no, he's not going up against the Falcons. Goddard scored against the Falcons week 1.
Oh, man.
It's our boy, who's one of my sleepers, Evan Ingram, who's going to be playing against the Atlanta Falcons.
That's who it is.
Yeah.
Why did I write that?
Your NFC East teams. I don't have no, because you were sleep deprived and your child kept you up till 3 a.m.
Pretty much. Yep.
But yeah. Whether or not Zach Ertz plays, I like Goddard going into this week. It doesn't matter the matchup. He's playing against the Cowboys. And
thank you. That's what it is. I knew it was going to be a shootout.
It is going to be a shootout, and both tight ends have a chance to succeed. You never know who's going to get the ball in that offense because it's just now gelling and getting to grow. But yeah, since you mentioned the Atlanta Falcons, I will take time to plug in my sleeper of the week, which is one of the waiver wire heroes, guys. Your boy Evan Ingram. There's a jersey back here.
Oh man! Oh dude, you're gonna bring out the jersey?
I got it. It's right behind me. I might as well put it.
It's on the floor for a reason right now.
I know, because you're not happy with him. You're not happy with him. I get it, Chef. But he's still my guy, and he's still somebody who I want to start this week, especially given that the Falcons have given up 44.4 fantasy points for the tight end, including 2 touchdowns to Gronk last week and 1 touchdown to Goddard in week 1. So,
yeah, dude, he is a quick tight end streamer, man. You might be able to hold on to him. The Giants look like they're on the up and up. I might be happy
Chef's
this week.
A little happy with the offense the last couple of weeks. I like it.
And then shout out to Doug in the chat. He added on. We don't say the C word on this show. We think it's a hex. But Antonio Brown added to the 2020 list. Tyler Johnson may get some work. Scotty Miller might get some work. I know you like Scotty Miller.
Yeah.
But either way, I think it's wheels up for Godwin and Evans in this matchup, along with Leonard Fournette. Might fill in more in the passing game there. But either way, that's supposed to be a shootout, that game.
Yeah. Anytime.
Tampa Bay versus the Rams.
What is it? 13 straight games, 30 points or more, including the playoffs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they've won all 13? Something along those lines. Do you know last week, Chef, that 12 teams scored at least 29 points? That's 75% of the league. So it's kind of crazy that's the scoring that we're having nowadays. And Tampa's definitely going to be in the 30s again.
Bet the over.
Bet the over. Moral of the story. Thank you, Chef. Yes.
Oh, man. We've got questions rolling in here, Juan. We are piling up. So let's try to get through the rest of this news. The one big piece of news is a Thursday night, and this is going to segue us into the Thursday night matchup. But I think we should get some questions before we even talk. Well, no. Let's talk about the Texans news. Tyrod Taylor out with a hamstring. Danny Amendola out with a hamstring. Nico Collins, shoulder. All put on IR. All will be out for at least 3 weeks. Davis Mills will get the start this week against. We're back. We're back. All right. Join back in. Sorry about that, guys. Do you guys not answer questions? Yes, we answer questions. Yes, man, answer questions, boss man fat. We just had a technical difficulty there. We'll get into your questions right now before we lose internet again. Jesus, I don't know what's going on today. Let's get into it. How you guys feeling about Kamara? Zach argue?
He played the Panthers. That's how I feel about Kamara. He'll be fine. That Panthers defense is real. Maybe, they gave up a little bit too early, a little bit earlier than they should have on the run game and decided to just start kind of YOLOing and let Winston chuck the ball around. But it's an ugly stat line, but it's a 1 week thing. He's one of those guys that's going to bounce right back, and the value is inevitable. Even if he doesn't run the ball very well and the line struggles to run, he will be more involved in the passing game. Bet on Sean Payton fixing that.
And Antonio wants to know, bro, I hate Brady matchup. Any chance I start Fields over him?
Nope.
No. Don't jump out the window.
Especially against Cleveland, who were projecting to be a good defense. Yeah, they've given up points to the quarterback so far, but one of those guys was Patrick Mahomes that they faced. Like, let's give it another week. Let me see what Fields does first. I don't trust the Bears O-line. I don't trust the play calling to be great, and I think that the Browns defense is better than everybody thinks. And I think Tom Brady's Tom Brady, and you don't bench him right now.
No.
The man's thrown 9 touchdown passes the first 2 weeks. Like, you can't bench 4 or 5 passing touchdowns. Not right now.
No. And their run game is suspect. So they're going to be throwing the ball. That's the bottom line right there. All right. Eric said he did some research last night. Shout out Big Greens.
Big Greens.
Fantasy teams went 0-5 and the Saints lost this week. So sad week of football.
Yeah, sometimes that's
Ouch.
tough. You take, you lose one, you lose the other, especially if you have my guys and all your teams are similar. If your guy that you have on all 5 teams doesn't do well, aka Kamara, you know what I mean? You're going to struggle, and that's just going to happen. That's one of the things you got to take it on the chin. Hey, take a 1 week loss, and then next week you go 5-0.
And then Boss Man Fat wants to know, should I drop Elijah Moore for Zach Pascal, Christian Kirk, or KJ Osborne? If so, which one?
I love Elijah Moore so much. It isn't Dynasty. It isn't Dynasty. It isn't Dynasty. I have to keep reminding myself.
Dynasty.
I know. I got to remind myself every time somebody says drop Elijah Moore, because I would never do it in Dynasty. Man, Pascal's on a heater, but again,
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous with that, with the Wentz news. If you can wait out and see about Wentz, if Wentz plays, then Pascal wheels up, I guess. I'm liking KJ Osborne.
I like him and Christian Kirk. But it's the problem with Arizona is I'm not sure who is going to get the bulk, who's going to get the one, the long touchdown, the big play that helps. Because he and Rondale Moore, make no mistake, and AJ Green, probably about 5-6 targets tops. Right. And then D-Hop's going to get everything this week. I think. So, I mean.
Yeah, D-Hop is going to get everything this week.
Yeah. I feel like he eats this week heavy. So I probably will go
KJ Osborne.
I would go KJ Osborne over Christian Kirk, and
over Elijah Moore,
and I will go. Oh yeah, that's
it's tough.
I like home runs so much, and I just feel like I know KJ Osborne can too. Oh man! All right, the smart play is KJ Osborne, but I love Elijah Moore.
He's just getting so many targets right now. So
yeah, and no Irv Smith, and maybe Dalvin Cook's a little banged up, and you got to throw the ball, and it's just Jefferson, Thielen, and Osborne, and I mean. I guess I would take that over Elijah Moore.
Look at this trade Justin pulled off. He said he traded away Cooper Kupp and got Barkley and Jamar Chase.
How is he doing this? It's not fair.
Teach us. Us.
Yeah, let me send that trade in one of my leagues. It's never going to happen. I mean, maybe.
He's got a couple tilts this week. He says Daniel Jones or Jalen Hurts. I would go with Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
He's playing consistent football. I'm not worried about him too much.
Yeah, and I'm not scared of Dallas. That was one of the teams that he ran on last year. Didn't he have like 78 yards rushing, 300 yards passing, something along those lines? He had a really good game against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not worried about Hurts. Yeah, give me Hurts.
Yeah, he's definitely in the top 10 quarterbacks this week. And Daniel Jones is up there as well.
Right there.
Yeah, going up against Atlanta, as we mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. I messed that up earlier.
Yeah, but no, hey, listen, if he's playing the Atlanta Falcons, I want to start him too. It's just, if I have the option, I think I would go Hurts. Both should be close, though.
All right, so let's see. Lucius wants to know, wonderful insight as usual so far, guys. Odd question here, but start 2 in a standard league. Slayton, Galladay, or James Robinson? In a standard league, I think I'm starting Galladay this week.
Yeah, and if you start Galladay, you don't want to start him and Slayton, so start Galladay and J-Rob.
Yeah, it's going to be tough sledding for J-Rob, man. Jacksonville is just looking suspect.
Well, I mean, it's
Up
Urban
against
Meyer.
Arizona.
It's turmoil. Yeah, I was going to say that game last week. I know he's not Dalvin Cook, but man, Dalvin Cook had 95 yards in the first half, Chef, or like the first quarter,
right?
Quarter plus a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's running the ball. I mean, I think James Robinson, if they're going to have some success, they got to figure something out quick in Jacksonville, because they're already talking about, Urban Meyer to USC. Like the rumors are already there. The locker room.
Yeah, he declined it though.
Of course,
yeah.
But the rumor, I'm saying there shouldn't be any room to say anything. I'm committed. I'm here. This is what we're going to do. I'm trying to put my brand of football out there, and I haven't seen what their brand of football is yet. Like I don't understand what it is yet. So let's get back to running the ball and trying to have some semblance of success.
Yeah, I mean, he came in, he said, "Oh, I'm rebuilding a team." So he admitted that the team is in full rebuild,
right?
Even though they got a star quarterback in the first round of the draft, in the first pick of the draft.
You're still not tanking. You still want to play to win the game, right?
Maybe not. Maybe they are tanking.
Oof.
Maybe they are tanking. No,
I feel like the Texans might be tanking. Like hamstring, you're not playing. Watson, potential Hall of Famer, you're not playing, even though you're not suspended or put on the commissioner's list. We're Roby, best nickel corner we have. See you later. We're trading you away.
Yeah.
Bye, JJ Watt. Like everything they're doing seems to me like they're tanking.
Yeah. So they're tanking.
Right. But the Jaguars just don't feel like they are. I feel like they still have some fight, and I feel like they want to play. I don't feel like they're dead. I don't feel like they're tanking.
All right. Justin's got another question here. He goes, if AB ends up playing start 2, well, AB's probably not going to play. I don't believe he's vaccinated. So I don't know. We don't know. We'll find out. But if he doesn't play, Gordon, Kenny Golladay, and AB.
Yeah, if he doesn't play, it's easy.
Yeah.
But if he plays, you start him over Golladay. Golladay gets AJ Terrell.
Denver gets the Jets. Easy money for Melvin Gordon.
Yeah. Oh, he's an easy start. It's just a different, debate between Golladay and AB. And I think I'll probably start AB if he plays.
I like the matchup for Kenny Golladay.
Me too. Terrell's good, but I like the matchup against Atlanta.
Yep. I would probably go Kenny Golladay over AB this week, regardless.
They're going to keep taking turns down there in Tampa.
You never notice that? Like when there's a problem, there's turmoil on the field, shouting matches, this, that, and the other. And both Jason Garrett and Joe Judge came out and said it was nothing. It was the heat of the moment, heat of battle.
Squeaky wheel's going to get that grease. Though.
Squeaky wheel's going to get the grease.
Yeah.
And look for Kenny Golladay, like we're saying, I'm boosting Saquon Barkley. I'm boosting Evan. If Evan Ingram plays, I'm boosting him.
Yeah.
Kenny Golladay gets a boost. Sterling Shepard definitely gets a boost. If Evan Ingram doesn't come back, he's getting a bigger boost.
Right.
And then Daniel Jones gets a boost going up. It's just the matchup. It's a matchup dependent. And, most people, it's not draft season anymore. Right. We're past that. It's weekly matchups.
And Danny Dimes, Chef, with all that, is quarterback conundrum time. If you're saying I'm streaming, I was streaming between Big Ben, Carson Wentz, Tua, like they're all out. Like if all these guys aren't playing, and you drafted Watson and then didn't listen to the Chef, and you drafted Watson in the 12th with the hopes that he would play, and in the meantime you had Tyrod too. That's a lot of quarterbacks that are out. Now the pecking order is going to move up, and Daniel Jones suddenly seems like somebody viable.
So what's your limit on Daniel Jones? Would you play him over Herbert?
I like this game.
Going up against Kansas City?
No, I know. No, because Herbert's going to give me 300, in a shootout.
And that's what he did the first time he played Kansas City.
Yeah.
And everybody remembers it. Yeah. So, yeah.
He's going to give me 300 in that shootout. That Atlanta Giants game, they're still two struggling, kind of finding their way teams. And that could be one of those ugly ones that doesn't have anybody score 30 points this week. So give me the one that's for sure going to be 30 points with the Chargers and the Chiefs game.
And then Justin, I know Justin wrote like 8 questions in.
I love it.
8 tilts to start the show. Before we were in the show, we were having a little technical difficulties. And stand by. If you lose us again, we will come back. We will finish the show. The Chef just has a lot more editing to do now for the podcast part of the show. But Justin wants to know, start 2, Deontay Johnson, Julio Jones, or Robert Woods, or AB. So if AB is on the 2020 list, Deontay Johnson was a little chipped up, plus the pectoral issue with Big Ben. I mean, it's pretty simple in the fact that I would play Julio Jones, who has a great matchup against the Colts, and Robert Woods.
Yeah, Yeah, give me Julio and Woods for sure. Even if everything was right, I still think after I saw Julio and he feels like Julio's back. So it's blasphemous to start anybody over him.
Right.
And him and Robert Woods to me feel like the safer plays, especially given the concerns on the other two. What was Mike Tomlin thinking about, Chef? You're down 9. There's 20 seconds left. So you can't mathematically even come back and tie the game. And you're going to throw the ball to Deontay Johnson and have him run around and do some kind of weird flea flicker situation where we're just going to throw the ball around and lateral it, like putting them in harm's way. He's killing the fantasy managers out there, dude.
Yeah.
Me,
so crazy.
Especially, yeah.
All right, so let's get into some other ones. What do we got here? We got Eric Brewer coming in. So my team definite starters are Saquon, Zeke, Woods, Evans. But I need to start 2 more, either Mike Davis, Robbie Anderson, flex question, Eli Mitchell, A-Rob, Melvin Gordon, or Sutton.
Oof.
I definitely want to play Eli Mitchell, man, if he's starting. I really do. I mean, San Francisco's going up against Green Bay. They are notoriously bad against the run. We saw both Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift be fantasy relevant against them in week 1.
Yeah, they both had success. They both had it.
I'm sorry, not week 1, week 2.
Chef, I don't know, man.
Oh, that's a tough one, man.
Like
or do you want? I'm trying to stay away from Robbie Anderson. I think it's a DJ Moore game.
Yeah, I think I want to go Broncos, man.
You want to go both Broncos?
I mean,
against the Jets.
We're playing the Jets. Like, aren't we picking on the Jets?
I would go Eli Mitchell and Sutton, if that's what we're gonna do.
All right,
I would take 1 and 1.
All right,
I wouldn't go all in because
all right, you're right, because anything can happen in this football.
It's not anything that can happen. Here's my logic on that. All right, I'll speak to it.
Let me hear it.
I love Melvin Gordon. I like him. I have him on a couple teams. He was a cheap draft pick. All right, first 2 weeks he's done well. Top 12, top 15. But Javonte Williams matched carries this week. They both had 13 carries, similar amount of yardage. Melvin Gordon got a couple passes. Javonte Williams got a couple passes. Why not give Javonte Williams a little bit more and hold your veteran off when you have the lead against the Jets? So I think Javonte Williams gets a little bit more snap share this week. They've been building up his snap counts. And I think he gets a little bit more work this week, which limits and caps Melvin Gordon's ceiling. So I love Cortland Sutton, of course. And if Eli Mitchell is the only one standing going up against Green Bay, give me Eli Mitchell over Melvin Gordon.
If he's the only one standing, then yes.
I mean, he's not going to be the only one in the back.
I guess slightly
he's the starter.
I guess slightly him over Melvin Gordon. I'll allow it. I'll go with it.
A-Rob would be a close third for me out of that party. That's a heck of a party.
It is a great party. So yeah, great problem to have as always. Like these guys all have great teams, and that's why that's when it's hard though. When you draft so well that you have a team that has all these guys in flex positions, like Allen Robinson's a lot of people's number 1, and you might be benching him this week, then just starting Sutton and Eli Mitchell, who you just picked up. So,
and Lucius is writing and he's saying T. Higgins just got a status move to questionable. As a side note, it's Wednesday. I wouldn't look too far into it. If he doesn't practice Thursday or if he doesn't practice by Friday, that's when you concern. That's when you show concern, and that's when you set up your switch and your pivot. Don't like they give veterans off on Wednesdays. He might be banged up from this past week.
Yeah.
I think he'll be just fine. I mean, he showed off, got a touchdown last week.
Yeah, the Wednesday practice doesn't scare me off as much. That's why we do the Sunday tilt, Chef.
Yeah. And then we have Brad Montgomery joining us here. Brad wants to know, 12-man, half PPR, 11th pick, got Gibson, Mixon, A-Rob, and Cooper. Traded Gibson for Tyreek. Should I trade Tyreek for Alvin Kamara or Austin Eckler? So he's got Mixon as a running back, but I guess I'm assuming he needs another top dog.
He needs a running back because all he's got is Mixon. He traded Gibson away for Tyreek.
And Kamara is a little iffy, I guess. I mean, I would have to compare both schedules.
I wouldn't care. I would take Kamara over Eckler.
Yeah.
No matter what.
You have to.
If you can get him. Yes, because I believe in running backs and at least having 2. So if I have Alvin Kamara, Mixon, A-Rob, and Cooper, I feel much better about my team than having just Mixon with the 3 wide receivers. And it is half-point PPR, though. So, I mean, those aren't the greatest 2 running backs to go after. But you're going to need it anyway, no matter what. I go Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, take Kamara, obviously. And if you can't get Kamara, go for Eckler. And hopefully you can get – you could probably trade A-Rob for Eckler and hold on to Tyreek.
Yeah, if you can get that off, do that.
Or Cooper, Cooper's a little chipped up right now.
Yeah.
If it was week 2, you would have been able to get something.
That monster first game against Tampa.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be. I think he's going to play. He's got a little bruised ribs going on. Everybody's got bruised ribs, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to cook some ribs up this weekend. I guess
the chef makes the best ribs, dude. Like, I wish you guys could all have. Seriously. We're going to go off the rails if I start talking about this.
I hope that helps you out, Brad. Appreciate you, man. He says, thank you. You guys, that rocks. What other running backs would you take in half-point PPR? I'm new to half-point PPR.
Bulk carry guys, big yardage guys. You want your Chubbs or
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's where they have more value. Dalvin Cook. Those guys have the most value in those leagues. But it's hard because there's not too many of those guys left. Like, every running back is now kind of a pass catcher. There's very little bruisers and guys that just get you a bunch of yardage and touchdowns. You know what?
This brings up a good point. Why don't you try moving Cooper for Barkley or another wide receiver for Barkley right now? He's chipped up. He hasn't exploded yet. And sneak peek, he is like one of my plays of the week going up against Atlanta. His snap count's going to get bigger. And I'll just go into my analysis on him right now.
Like, for
week 3, I think he's back to business. He only had 10 attempts week 1, 13 attempts week 2. He saw 6 targets total in those 2 matchups, and I believe that he is on the mend. So 16 to 18 attempts versus the Falcons, 4 to 5 targets. They give up 24-plus fantasy points to the running back position. I don't think it's all Devontae Booker.
No.
That's for sure.
No.
I think this is the perfect matchup, like we said, like we've been saying all show already, that the Giants get back on track. And Saquon Barkley, man, I think this is the week to do it. And it might be your last chance to get in there and scoop up that trade window. This is the trade window, and the door's about to shut on it.
Yeah, if he comes out and has a big game, just the 40-yard run the other day is going to make people not want to do it because he showed you something. And if he shows you a big game and ends up RB1, you think this week, like a top 12 finish?
Yeah, top 12 finish.
Now, if he does that, the value goes through the roof. Real quick for that trade, if you wanted to do that trade, a guy I like that's running the ball that way and is going to continue to do it throughout the year. And earlier in the season, in the preseason, the chef had a nice little breakdown where compared Damian Harris to LeGarrette Blount.
I have him as number 11 this week in my rankings.
So Barkley's 11, and he's that type of running back.
In half-point PPR.
Damian Harris has a chance to be like LeGarrette Blount was for that offense a long time ago for the Patriots. So you can probably trade Cooper for Damian Harris and then another guy that I like in Myles Gaskin this week going up against the Raiders. So the Dolphins are struggling. Brissett's coming in. All he had was 5 carries last week for 25 yards. It was a blowout against the Bills. You're not going to go and trot him out there. Last season, though, against those same Raiders in week like 16 or so, right towards the end of the season, he had a monster game, including a really long touchdown towards the end of the game to help the Dolphins seal it. So I think if you're going to help Brissett, you're going to throw it short to the running back. You're going to throw it to Gesicki.
I like that because I need Gaskin. I need to play Gaskin.
I think Gaskin's
trying to talk me into it.
He's my sleeper this week where if my team is struggling, maybe he's my 2, but he's certainly one of those guys that I'm willing to flex and bet that they're going to have a good game. That's a game where it's going to provide a few guys with a lot of fantasy points, and he's one of the ones that I feel like is slotted to have himself a good game. Raiders have been playing great, out of their mind, but it's Max Crosby and it's Ngakoue putting pressure on the quarterback. It's the ends.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive line, linebacking core still has a lot left to be desired, and I think that Gaskin can exploit that a little bit this week. So he's one of my sleeper guys.
I like that. Nice. All right, let's see. Cash's Stylist. Hey, what's up, Cash's Stylist?
Welcome back.
Welcome back. How do y'all feel about a Tyson Williams and Jared Cook for Logan Thomas and Javonte Williams trade?
I feel like the Logan Thomas and Javonte Williams side wins
later on in the season.
Yes. Tyson for the moment, but even still.
So wait, this might be a scenario where they picked up Tyson Williams off of waivers unless they drafted like the last day before the season started.
Right.
So if they did that, go for the trade. If you're a little weak on running back, I would hold off and wait because Tyson Williams will be fantasy relevant for a while.
Yes. He's somebody you need. And for the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, even throughout the rest of the year, he'll probably be pretty good. But that team, they're going to run for 250 like they did against Kansas City, probably every week. But who's going to get it? Is it Latavius Murray going to get the touchdown? Now you saw Freeman come in and play a lot better than you thought he was going to play. So the involvement, like the trust, I'm willing to take the chance, especially like you said, the value. If I pick them up off the waiver wire and I got Jared Cook either off the waiver wire or very late, and I can turn that into mid-round tight end Logan Thomas and promising young rookie Javonte Williams, let me get that.
Yeah. And we just talked about it. He's going to start getting more carries.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I really have a feeling he has the skill set to be a full workhorse back, which we don't usually say too much nowadays.
The only thing, again, Chef, I got to keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. Pat Shurmur didn't let Saquon average over 16 carries a game. But
that's fine. Javonte Williams doesn't need more than 16 carries.
That's what they've been getting.
And he got 13 last week.
Well, it's Vic Fangio with the defense first, and they want to run the ball 30 times, 15-15. I'm just saying that's about where
if they're up, they're not going to give him to Melvin Gordon. They're going to give him to Javonte Williams. Mike Boone's on IR. You're not using Mike Boone.
It's just those two guys. It's going to be 13 to 18 carries straight up every week.
Yeah, I would definitely get him, Cassius. If you could pick him up and stash him and just monitor him, I think after this week you won't be able to get him if he does get the kind of carries that I assume he's going to get.
And Logan Thomas may not do great right now while Heineke's in there. Like maybe he'll have good games, bad games, but once Fitzpatrick comes back, and he will come back, like then I think Logan Thomas will be back to viable, and he can help you down the stretch.
And Justin wants to know, Juan, rate Chef's ribs 1 to 10, and you'd better not lie.
About a 14.
Oh, shit.
Can we give him a 14?
You almost got me to drop a curse on the show. 14.
14.
Oh my gosh.
Is that all right?
That's hey, thanks, man.
Bro, like I had dreams about the ribs the next day. Like
should have came over for leftovers. So wait, they were gone.
Idea. I was like, oh my god, look how they're just falling off the bone. Like before I could even eat them.
You could pick them up, but then they fall right off.
It's like eating those little, the little part of the chicken wing, the little upper arm part of the chicken wing, when you just and you just rip it off like that. You could do the same thing with the ribs. It's just like the meat just rips off.
It's a long process, man.
Bonkers.
My ribs take at least 5 to 6 hours to cook.
Justin, I didn't want to wash my face afterwards, just in case I could lick myself a little while later and just get the flavor again. It was fantastic.
Oh man, what else did Justin do? I traded away Barkley and Chase and got Zeke and Devontae Smith, and I traded Kupp and got Barkley and Chase. So basically, it was a 4-for-1. What the heck, dude? That's crazy.
Whoa.
You guys are wilding. Justin, you're wilding, dude.
I want to be in a league like that, though.
That's great.
Nice.
Yep. And they're deep. Cassius Stylist is deep. That's what I'm thinking. I'm deep at running back. Saquon, Aaron Jones, and Monty. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. If Javonte's your fourth, go get him. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. Y'all are so underrated in the fantasy community. That's fine. Only for a certain amount of time. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Cassius. Appreciate that.
Thank you. The chef is on Sunday nights. He's doing the show with DHH with the Pop Father.
Dude, I need a break already.
Yeah. Tuesday we do the Waiver Wire Hero show in the morning. 7:00 at night. He's doing the Coming Off the Edge. Shout out to the Chaos League and the Chaos team over there.
Yeah.
We do this one on Wednesdays. We were gonna do a Thursday night preview show, but we figured we pack it right into this one so the chef can have a little bit of a breather.
I need at least one day off.
Yeah, and then Sundays we get busy again. So
yeah, and then Sundays, the Sunday tilt at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Yeah, and for all of you that don't know, I am a writer at Ball Blast Football.
Indeed.
I do Dynasty. I am the staff writer, Dynasty staff writer at Ball Blast Football. Brand new website out there. Has only been around for a year. They are on the up and up.
They are. Blast off.
Yeah, blast off for sure. And I do a Dynasty. I do a Dynasty series for them. It's called Dynasty. What is it called again? Oh my god!
It's valuations and
it's discounts and diversions.
There it is, discounts and diversions.
It's all about the Dynasty trade market. So if you guys are into Dynasty fantasy football, check that out. And if not, Sunday nights, I'm also on the DHH podcast. Maybe you get a little bit more accustomed to Dynasty. They were actually one of the first Dynasty podcasts that I started listening to when we started our Dynasty League. I said, okay, let me start getting some podcasts with Dynasty, and I found them. Juan and I actually got picked up for them and started writing for them. That's how we got our foot in the door in the fantasy industry. And that's what led us here, long story short, to doing these podcasts and helping you guys out on a weekly basis. And we appreciate it. All the love in the world. Real fast, going back to Justin with the quick question.
I
DJ
like this
Moore
one. This is going to take us into Thursday night.
A-Rob this week.
A-Rob versus Denzel Ward or DJ Moore in the slot against who from the Houston Texans? Oh,
Hargreaves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
go
go.
DJ Moore, dude.
Can I pick on him? And we can have a little Thursday night fun. I love these tilts right here because Thursday night's the night. Like that game is usually either a dud or it's great. It's been good the first 2 weeks. We've had two good Thursday night games.
This
now.
is a dud.
Yeah, but so was to a lot of people the Giants and the football team.
That's
that was going to
true.
be a dud to a lot of people. Ended up being 30-29. Game went down to the wire.
You know
Danny
what?
Dimes runs for 95 yards.
You make a good point there, and I'm going to change I'm going to go with A-Rob. And the reason being is it may wind up being a blowout against the Texans, and they may just run the ball. They run the ball. I think CMC might have a big week up against the Houston Texans defense. Their defensive front's pretty good, but he will get that pass catching work. You got Robbie Anderson, so many other targets. In the, who are they going to pass the ball to the most? Who's going to get the most targets? A-Rob.
Yeah, more than
DJ
even against
Moore.
Denzel Ward, even against Cleveland, who's going to run the ball themselves and control the clock too.
I think
and if you're Chicago, you're going to run the ball and protect your young rookie quarterback too.
I don't think Denzel Ward shadows him.
I think this would be a good board bet. I think I like DJ Moore.
I think I like A-Rob.
Yeah.
All right. 6-pack?
Do it.
I think he already owed me 12. Oh, no, actually, you know what? The Swanson one wiped away both. I think he owes us a 6-pack.
Oh, I like that even better. I like that
How
even
about
better.
That?
Let's go.
While he's not here, shout out
Swanson. It's Wednesday, my dude.
He wants to know what was going to bring us into Sunday night. Oh, he goes, Stafford or Fields? I'm 0-2 in this league, so I don't know if I need a boom or a safe. I would play Stafford
over most quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah. He is my pick of the week, Justin.
I like that. Go right into
it. I'll roll right into it. Yeah, this one has shootout written all over it. We said it at the top of the show, going up against the Bucs. Stafford averaging almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns per game. Both teams with running back weaknesses. I'm not on the Darrell Henderson boat, that's for sure. And facing strong defensive fronts. We know Tampa's front four are really strong, but they have leaks in their secondary. So 21st against the quarterback, allowing 27 fantasy points per game. You can bet on Stafford throwing at least 2 to 3 touchdowns. And then it rolls right into my wide receiver of the week, who is Cooper Kupp, because they sit down and sit down and have breakfast together every single day. It's a super stack. And if you have Stafford, hopefully you have Kupp. And Kupp 16 receptions so far this year, tied for first amongst wide receivers. 21 targets, 278 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks, averaging 22.3 fantasy points per game. Tampa 28th versus the wide receiver. So we're not seeing it on the run game. We're seeing it in the receiving game, allowing 58 points per game to the position. You can bet that they will be throwing the ball. Play Stafford, play Kupp. You could throw Woods in there as well. Even a little bit of Van Jefferson on the right side. And I think that is what you want to do this week. If you have Stafford, you're playing him.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said, Chef. And I'm smiling over here on this side because it feels like Cooper Kupp is one of those like, oh, Jared Goff, you're my best friend. Oh, Stafford's here? No, you're my best friend. No, you know what I mean? Like,
wouldn't that be funny if Goff and Kupp used to sit down and have breakfast, and then
they did. They were like best of friends. These guys were, I'm telling you, like they were inseparable. I think they were freaking roommates on road trips. Like that was his guy. And suddenly he leaves. He's like, okay, it's okay. I found another one. Like, I'm okay without you. It's all right. But I like that you said that because Goff is actually going to be my guy. But before I get to him, I love everything that you just said because that game's a complete shootout, Chef.
Yeah.
Carlton Davis is probably the only healthy corner.
Jamel Dean is weak.
He's weak. He's not doing great right now. Murphy Bunting dislocated his elbow. Like, yes, that defense is great and all that stuff, but I think there's going to be holes in the secondary, and they will be able to exploit them. And you have to keep up with Tom Brady, no matter what. I don't care what Aaron Donald does. Tom Brady and them are going to move the ball down the field, and it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah, I'm not so big on Darrell Henderson this week, but the wide receivers, absolutely fire them up.
Now, like the problem with Stafford is like with one of these guys that's your sleeper or your plays of the week. You know what I mean? It's really hard to get someone who's not owned and someone who's not, on somebody's roster already. And Jared Goff to me is one of those sneaky guys that you can pick up maybe, and he's available, and you can play him, and you're like, wait, against Baltimore? Yeah, Baltimore gave up 380 to Derek Carr and 343 to Mahomes. Like, I'm okay with that. And Goff didn't look bad against Green Bay. And we highlighted him, and he's on the waiver wire heroes, right?
Yep.
Waiver wire hero sheet.
Yeah, I believe he is.
Yes. So
yes, he is.
Yeah. So let me fire up Goff. and he's going to be paired with one of your sleeper wide receivers, so somebody young and up and coming. And again, Baltimore's another team who's having injuries at corner, and if you suddenly don't have, all you have left is Marlon Humphrey because you don't have Marcus Peters, you might be able to find some room in that secondary and be able to exploit some of those matchups.
And that sleeper that you're talking about is Quintez Cephas.
Yes, sir.
Man, he's gotten some targets, and that's what I'm all about, man. He's averaging 6.5 targets per game. He's catching at least 3.5 targets per game. 1 touchdown so far. Guys on the up and up, and they're facing Baltimore this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that a lot. They're playing from behind. And that's the main point with Goff. Same scenario. They've been playing from behind each and every week. Yeah, they didn't really get it done too much against Green Bay.
But they had the lead for a little bit.
They had a little
that
lead.
Game was a little different. They were in the lead for the first half.
And Kevin King was there as well. So.
Yeah. But again, if there's no Marcus Peters, who's playing corner? Jimmy Smith's been banged up. He's in his 30s.
Marlon Humphrey.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
Now you only have one guy. He can't cover everybody.
So I picked up Quintez Cephas and Amon St. Brown in one league. Like, scooped them up. Like, whatever one happens. Like, couldn't get a quarterback, so I guess I'm playing one of those guys in my super flex.
Why not? If you have to, you have to.
Like, this league is bad. Like, it's so bad. I don't have any chance of winning this one. I'm so upset with myself. And that's the New Jersey league, by the way.
You picked up Quintez Cephas, Chef, and in the hopes that you might have to throw him in there and start him. But I picked up Hunter Renfrow, and I'm going to do the same thing. He's going to be matched up with either Noah Igbenogany, who's getting beat like a drum.
Yeah.
And if not, it's going to be Needham. And
Nick Needham.
And he's getting beat like a drum. You know what I mean? So give me Hunter Renfrow with Carr throwing for 400 yards almost every damn game. Let me get a little bit of Hunter Renfrow, who's still available in a bunch of leagues. And he's probably going to get you 6 for 60. It isn't going to look beautiful, but it's going to be 12 solid points that you can put in a flex position where you otherwise had nothing going. So to me, that's a definition of a sleeper or a scoop and score, a guy that I want to play.
Yeah. Lucius wants to know, what do you guys think of CEH?
I think the world of the kid. I love him. I have him on a ton of my rosters. I overpaid for him last year. I probably overpaid for him this year, given to how it's going so far. But I will tell you this one thing about Andy Reid. The man's loyal to a fault. Mm-hmm. And if you don't think that they're going to come out and find a way to give that kid the ball like 20 times, somehow, some way, whether it's through the air or rushing, he's going to get him the carries, and he's probably going to get him in the end zone.
Chargers are a little susceptible to the running back, so I think he's a good play this
Pollard.
Week. Yeah.
And we think about Zeke and Pollard and how good they are, CEH is right there, talent-wise and all that. So, yeah, I absolutely believe that can happen, and he's going to have a successful game, I think.
And now Cassius Styles coming back in. Last question. They want to know, I told you I have Saquon, Jones, and Monty, but I also have Damian Harris. I think I can package Harris and Julio for Justin Jefferson. Good move for me. Yes, absolutely. That would leave their team with Kyler, Saquon, Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen, Cooper Kupp, Logan Thomas, and Justin Jefferson. Yes. You won.
I'll see you in the playoffs.
And Justin wants to know, do you guys think the Panthers -8? Justin, I went over this morning with myself, and I'm a betting man, and we live in New Jersey. So DraftKings, shout out if you want to be a sponsor.
Atlantic City down the street.
Yeah. Do you guys think the Panthers -8? And Justin, I took the 8 and I took the under because the Panthers don't score that much when they don't need to. I don't know if the Texans even get a touchdown in this game. It's going to be interesting. What they are going to try to do is they're going to try to run the ball. Davis Mills did not look good throwing the ball. They're going up against Jeremy Chin. They're going up against some heavy hitters.
Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick, talk to him. Dwayne Brown, let's go. Yes. JC Horn, that defense is coming.
It's coming. And I think they just try to run the game and could try to control the clock as much as they can, but they won't be able to. And I'm even interested in teasing the spread and going, I took the Panthers -10 and got a little boost. So I think the odds were like, they jumped up to like plus 250 or something like that if you tease the spread a little bit. So if you're into that, check that out.
I typically hate Thursday games, and I don't like crowning teams early. But if Jameis Winston throws 5 touchdowns against Green Bay and they win 38-3, it wasn't just because Marshawn Lattimore was out in the second game. that they got trounced and barely scored, and only scored because of a turnover, and they got the ball in scoring position. So I'm not scared whatsoever about that matchup and the spread or any of that. And Chef, I'll go with you, 10, 11-point win.
Yeah.
Easy.
I didn't want to do it any further than that because the spread was like, if it was like by 17 points, I think it was like plus 600. I'm like, ooh, that's so juicy.
For the Texans to score a touchdown, it's off a short field because of a turnover, special teams, or a straight turnover, scoop and score going the other way, because that can happen because it's football. But yeah, I don't see that game being remotely close.
Yeah, Cassius says, thank you. Appreciate you, Cassius. And Justin wants to know, do you think they get 3 picks and 4 sacks? I'm down with the 4 sacks. I don't know
the
about
3 picks are hard to come by.
3 picks are hard to come by.
But the 4
I would say
sacks,
at least one pick.
Yeah, you could probably trust them to do that. But again, like you said, it might be really low possession, low scoring. Like if it was ugly, and it was like Davis Mills' line is 13 for 21, 136 yards, 1 interception, and got sacked 4 or 5 times, and it was just an ugly game, and they got out of there 21-9. Like that seems like a reasonable story. Like I would buy that story if you told it to me. So
all right, real fast, I'm going to share the waiver wire hero sheet. We're going to keep it going here, and there it is on the screen. So we ran over this yesterday. Every Tuesday we go through, we have a waiver wire hero show. This is a team that we create with waiver wire guys. So
guys that are available in more than 50% of leagues, right? Have the less than 50% ownership. So
yes,
you can use them.
And real fast, we talked about Daniel Jones. We talked a little bit about Kirk Cousins. Go back and listen to the show.
Yeah.
It's on podcast form. You can find it on YouTube here. If you're still watching YouTube, you can find it on Twitter, on what's that called? Periscope. Yeah. And on Facebook. We post all that. And all these on this printouts are on the website as well.
www.thetiltisreal.com.
That's right. So just run down the names real fast. J.D. McKissick, James White, Tony Pollard, Alexander Madison for your running backs. Wide receivers were Rondell Moore, Darnell Mooney, Tim Patrick, Elijah Moore, Jalen Reagor, KJ Osborne, another guy that I find intriguing, and the tight ends, Max Williams going up against Jacksonville this week. Very intriguing matchup there. Yeah. And then we talked about it. Juan's pick of the week was Evan Ingram and Jared Goff.
Yes, sir.
So those players right there, man. Each and every Tuesday we get this list out for you, and it smashes. Last week we smashed, I think, 75% of the list, which is just absurd.
Bonkers.
Yeah. And last season when we started in week 4, I believe it was. I wound up being like 85% for the season.
That team right there beats most of my redraft teams.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And Justin wants to know, Tim Patrick got dropped in my league. Should I pick him up for Patterson?
If that's Cordarrelle Patterson, I think I go Tim Patrick, man.
Yeah, Tim Patrick has a higher floor.
Yeah, I really like Tim Patrick for that, Chef, for that floor. Like 5 for 50 is like pretty steady, something that he can get you every week, and at least.
And then he wants to know, or should he pick him up for Gainwell? No, not drop Gainwell. Don't drop Gainwell. He is the handcuff to Miles Sanders.
And has his own standalone value. He's pretty good. He could be Nyheim Hines all day, like we said before, like during the preseason. I was like, he can be Nyheim Hines and end up in the top 20 just off of a little bit of work here and there.
Yeah, I would hold on to Gainwell. Don't go jumping out the window just yet on Gainwell. Hold on to him. All right, I think that's it. We covered. My play of the week for the tight end position was TJ Hawkinson versus Baltimore. It just goes to say we're picking on the guys that are going to be proactive in their offenses for fantasy purposes. It's DeAndre Swift. It could be Quintez Cephas. It's going to be Hawkinson.
For sure.
Okay. He's gotten 20 targets so far. I believe besides Waller, he leads for targets.
Tight ends and targets.
16 receptions on 20 targets, 163 yards and 2 touchdowns so far. Averaging 23 fantasy points per game. You beat me with Hawkinson on Monday night.
Hey, you let me get him. I was happy to take Waller, Chef.
But speaking of Waller, being a main benefactor in this ranking, Baltimore's ranked 32nd versus the tight end, giving up 30.8 fantasy points, and obviously week 1 versus Waller. But hey,
they got Kelsey. They got Kelsey in week 2, and now they're getting Hawkinson. Now they got 1, 2, 3, bang, bang, bang.
So as a quick recap, my picks of the week were Matthew Stafford, Saquon Barkley on the comeback, Cooper Kupp matching up with Stafford, obviously, and TJ Hockenson. Juan, who do you have?
Those are all starters, and those are all stars. I went a little bit deeper, and I went with fringe guys. I've got Jared Goff as my quarterback, Myles Gaskin as my running back, Hunter Renfrow at the same game against I like that Dolphins and Raiders game, as you can tell. And then I went with Evan Ingram if he ends up playing. And if he doesn't play, then I like your guy on the waiver wire hero sheet, Max Williams, or go get anybody else you want, because there's a lot of tight ends that you can stream week to week and just hope they get in the end zone. Ferkser is going to be back healthy this week. There's a lot of different plays and a lot of different ways you can go at tight end.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. All right. So I think we covered pretty much everything that we needed to talk about. We talked about the Panthers game. We did.
Yep. Who we got in that game, what we think the outcome's going to be. I even gave you a score.
We hit the waiver wire heroes. We even hit all my plugs. Like, I don't even have to plug anything.
No, we plugged at everything.
Oh, man.
All you have to do is go back and edit the little part where we had the technical difficulty.
Oh, and this was a technical difficulty show. Yeah. You know, of course it happens when we had 16 people watching us at one time.
And it also happens when there's the quarterback conundrum week and everything else is going haywire in the NFL. So
yeah,
why not?
That's what it is.
A little chaos.
We'll blame it on Andy Dalton for breaking the internet.
Or on Wentz's ankles.
Don't say that, man.
Oh, sorry, you need him. I forgot.
He got Wentzed. I got Wentzed.
I wonder who's going to get Wentz this week. Don't get Wentz, guys. That's the motto of the week is don't get Wentz.
Don't get Wentzed. Either way, everybody have a good week. Right. I'm James. You can find me at FF_chef on Twitter. Just go to my Twitter page. You can see all the stuff that I do out there. Dynasty Happy Hour, Ball Blast. And of course, Coming Off the Edge. And here at The Tilt is Real. Juan?
Real quick, Justin, go with James White. I'm Juan Carlos Pena. You can find me at FF One of a Kind. And enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the Thursday night game. Join us Sunday morning for the Tilt. We'll have the latest news, all the last minute details, starts, sits. We're going to try to get our weatherman involved if we have any weather. Shout out AC Press Joe Martucci. We're going to have a lot of things going on this year, and it's going to be real interesting. The basement, or the studio is almost finished.
It's working. It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, but the chef's coming along, and we have it all looking nice, and it's going to be great down here. Sounds fantastic, and it's going to sound even better soon. So
I wonder if I could just drop a camera from over there and then shoot it in this way. I'm gonna mess around with it. We're gonna mess around.
We're gonna have a little fun. We're gonna have a little fun.
Yeah,
have a couple Mai Tais, have a little fun. Hey,
the bar is getting installed tomorrow.
That's why I said Mai Tai. So maybe Sunday morning they'll be full. We'll have Mr. Swanson standing over that window over there, just serving us some drinks. That 6-pack he owes us.
Oh yeah, that 6-pack.
Yeah. So anyway, check you guys out on the Sunday Tilt, man. It's been real.
Yeah, Sunday 10 a.m. We will be back in full form. Drop your questions at The Tilt is Real in all caps on Twitter. Hit us up on mailbag at The Tilt is Real and everywhere else. You can find us, YouTube, Facebook. We're out there. Thanks for enjoying the show, and we will see you on Sunday. Peace. We out.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Like and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Check out our website at thetiltisreal.com for more great fantasy football content. We'll catch you guys next time on The Tilt is Real.